and with therapy, when you think about it, right, the therapist has every incentive to keep you going, to keep you coming back.
No, they don't.
Right?
No, they don't. Because
Yes, they
no,
do.
they don't. Because no, they don't. One, that's a misunderstanding of how therapy even works. You're not supposed to just necessarily be in therapy because shit's bad. It's perfectly fine, healthy, and normal, actually, or at least it should be more normal, to simply see a therapist when your life's good and when your life's bad. You just have your weekly therapist appointment. So that's the first thing is, one, you're misunderstanding therapy. They don't have any incentive to make anything worse. They don't, because you're not supposed to just go to...
I was going to say they have an incentive to keep you in a loop. They have an incentive to keep you in a loop.
How? Why?
Money.
Doing good. I see that it says you're right wing on here, so I'm sure that we're gonna have something to debate about.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely sure of it. So I'm just wondering. There's kind of been like a mental health decline over the past few decades, right? Like especially in the past decade.
Sure.
Kind of. Would you say?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. Don't you think that? Well, actually, you probably don't think this, but do you think that the whole idea of mental health awareness today is working? Do you actually think it's doing anything good? Because I believe as of 2022, we had like record suicide high in America.
Right. Yeah, I think that there are other problems at bay. I don't think that I don't think the answer, or I don't think this is a matter of mental health facilities not doing their jobs or something.
I'm specifically referring to hold on. Like it says that like clearly what we're doing isn't working because it says the number of this is from The Hill. It says that the number of Americans going to therapy has doubled since a decade ago.
Mhm.
So do you think that and also so do you think that maybe we're doing something wrong?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff going on, some stuff that's contributing to people having negative mental health, but I don't think that problem is more mental health awareness by any means. I think that part of the reason that, well, hold on, wait. I think that part of the reason we also see an increase is because, yes, I think there are reasons why it's increasing, and I'm going to touch on those in a second, but we also now have more awareness. So the statistics are more revealing. Back in the 50s, 40s, 30s, we didn't have the same kind of awareness. So, of course, it looked like nobody had depression. Just like if you go back and look at the stats, apparently nobody was gay. But we know people were still gay back then. They just didn't report it.
Yeah.
So,
but hold on. I'm just gonna counter something real quick. We did suicide statistics, those are much easier to count, and apparently those have been climbing steadily.
yeah, yes, because things are getting worse in other regards. For example, if you look at like back again, I referenced the 50s because I think that mental health was better at that time, at least to a degree. I don't know how much of that was reporting and whatnot, but either way, if you fuck me, I just completely forgot where I was going with that. Sorry, what did you say again? Can you repeat your point?
Oh, come on. How's that my fault? Anyway, what was I going to say? Suicide statistics.
I wasn't saying it was your fault.
Okay, I know. But anyways, suicide statistics, they are, I believe, at a record high.
Yes, and part of that is because people don't have friends the way they used to.
Yeah, so I think that that is a problem more with modern culture. I mean, probably part of it's due to social media and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. The internet is contributing
like
massively to it. So that's a very reasonable and demonstrable explanation for why mental health is seemingly worsening or suicide is increasing. But again, I feel like you started this with almost trying to say that this was like an L for mental health awareness.
Yeah. So it seems like does this mental health awareness stuff, like, do you think it actually works, or do you think, like, because I see this shit spammed out like in school, they spam out all this mental health awareness, and yet we can look at statistics and see that suicides are still are still increasing. So do you think maybe we need like maybe trying like this whole think about your mental health stuff, maybe maybe even if let's say it's not causing the suicides to go up, do you think maybe it is not let's just say working well enough, because
Maybe it's not working
it's
well enough. Yeah, but awareness is
or
just
well
one
at
thing.
or well at all,
Yeah,
or well
but
at all.
awareness is just being aware that people have mental health problems is not enough to prevent somebody from necessarily committing suicide. They might know that they have that mental health problem and still commit suicide. Awareness does not necessarily translate to not doing it.
Yeah, but it's not actually. But at least from what we can see with the statistics, it's really not. Do you have any ideas for like what would you say we should do to try to bring the suicide statistics down? Because they're going up. We need to bring them down. What do you think we do? Then I'll give my
Well,
take.
first I'm reading about this just really quickly from a gov.gov here. Raising awareness reduces the stigma and discrimination associated with mental illness, seeking treatment. Without treatment, mental health disorders can reach a crisis point. What was your question? What do we think we should do instead? We should have.
What do you think we do?
The first thing we should
hold
start
on.
with is get some kind of a better healthcare system so that people don't need to pay money for therapy. People need to be able to access mental health treatment, not just awareness, mental health treatment without it costing them money. That's the first thing that needs to change. Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, do you think? I think part of the reason why mental health, like, we might share a common ground here in that, I think part of what the problem is that with pharmaceutical companies, right? I think that the pharmaceutical companies, they're inspiring doctors to overdiagnose things like ADHD or depression just because they want to get more money. So I think those things are overdiagnosed, and then people just end up paying a lot of shit. No, paying
How
a
is it
lot for a lot of shit they
overdiagnosed
don't.
though if you're saying suicides are still spiking?
Yeah, I know. Wait, hold on. Now I forget what I was saying. Shit. That always happens.
You said that you think that maybe the doctors are being paid or over prescribing.
Yeah,
But
like I don't
that
like. Here's
then
the thing
maybe
about
over prescribing isn't working either, because you said that suicides are going up, so people are over
yeah.
prescribed. You wouldn't really expect that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, do the drug like I don't think the drugs are actually I don't think the drugs are actually working. And with therapy, when you think about it, right, the therapist has every incentive to keep you going, to keep you coming back,
No, they don't.
right?
No, they don't. Because
Yes, they
no,
do.
they don't. Because no, they don't. One, that's a misunderstanding of how therapy even works. You're not supposed to just necessarily be in therapy because shit's bad. It's perfectly fine, healthy, and normal, actually, or at least it should be more normal, to simply see a therapist when your life's good and when your life's bad. You just have your weekly therapist appointment. So that's the first thing is, one, you're misunderstanding therapy. They don't have any incentive to make anything worse. They don't, because you're not supposed to just go to...
No, I was going to say they have an incentive to keep you in a loop. They have an incentive to keep you in a loop.
How? Why?
Money.
Wait, if they keep you in a loop and everything keeps getting worse for you, what's going to happen next? You're going to leave the therapist.
Keep you in a loop, so it doesn't get too bad, but it doesn't get too good where you say, "Oh, I think I'm done with this. I'm not going to pay you any more money."
Do you think all the therapists are like in on this together?
I'm not saying all of them, but I think that's how a lot of them operate. I can't tell you.
I don't know what to tell you. You can read the statistics both on the efficacy of therapy, cognitive behavioral treatment, which is a type of therapy, and of antidepressants and medication. You can look it up. All of these things have been proven efficacious to some degree. Now, it's true that antidepressants are not the most effective. It's true that they don't work for everybody, unfortunately. However, when they do work, they are still very effective.
Okay, but still with like, do you think maybe we ought to not be medicating just because someone says they feel depressed or gets diagnosed with depression or whatever?
Probably,
like,
yeah. If someone just says I feel depressed and you put them on medication, that would be a really dumb thing to do.
Maybe I oversimplify that. My bad, Hunter, my bad. I think that I think that this I think that the reason the like I'm going back to my old point earlier. The reason suicides have gone up is because like one of it is we really don't make as many friends anymore. So do you think maybe as a culture, as a society, we should focus more on like in real life interaction, maybe instead of trying to medicate, just trying to medicate away things because you see ADHD, right? Um, ADHD, like I've read the symptoms for ADHD, right?
Okay.
They include just normal human behaviors, just like
No, they don't. Do you
fidgeting.
see that? Do you see the problem here is you started off by talking about how we have this super over crazy apparent obsession with mental health awareness, but you need more mental health awareness, my friend. You
Well,
didn't know what you
excuse me,
didn't know
I
what
read.
therapy was for. You thought therapy was just for when shit gets bad, which it's not. I don't
Well,
really fault you
I
for
know
that
that they're
because that's
trying to
not
push
something
it
that a lot
just
of
like
people
that.
know, but that's something that awareness could have helped. When you say it's just normal symptoms, no, it's not. Being fidgety is not ADHD. It's not being able to stop being fidgety. That's the ADHD.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's
Like
not
I mean,
it's not fidgeting or being fidgety that is ADHD. It's not being able to stop being
so
fidgety.
what? Some kids are like, and they say that can be proven with brain scans, right?
Wait, I
They say
have
this can be proven?
ADHD. It can be debilitating. Do you understand what you're talking about right now? That it's not just like, oh, I'm fidgeting, so now I'm on meds. It's like usually like I can't hold still in the classroom and focus.
Oh yeah, kids have focus issues all the time. But don't you think we ought to just don't you think we ought to do that without medication? Like we ought to deal with that without medication instead?
I I think it completely depends on the case. I don't think that it should just be like, oh, here's your pill, pop a pill, no matter what, pop a pill kind of thing. But at the same time, I don't think that it's like
It's becoming.
either or. You could do medication and treatment or and therapy.
So basically, so like, why didn't all right, here's the thing. We didn't need this stuff. We didn't like you see, here's the thing. We met like in terms of like mental health, our country was much better, say 30 or 40 years ago. And yet the rates for people taking these drugs and getting all this therapy were much lower. So don't you think maybe don't you think maybe like what we're doing with all this medication and all this like extra therapy stuff maybe is not working for us right now?
You're you're simultaneously saying things are getting worse, and then you're saying that more people are getting on medication. If things are getting worse, then more people are going to be getting on medication. And we've already established that a big reason why things are getting worse is because people are more and more isolated with social media and don't have the same kind of face-to-face interactions and friends the way they used to. So no, this has nothing to
Yeah.
do with mental health
So
awareness.
do you
It
think
also
maybe
makes
this
sense that
maybe
as the mental health situation here in this country gets worse, that more mental health awareness will start propping up as well.
oh I think I know what I'm gonna say now. So here's the thing. I think culturally I think we could focus a lot more of our energy instead of doing all the medication therapy, trying to get back I to like real life interaction more because then that would be
Why
like the
not
root
both? You're
cause.
making it an either or. It shouldn't be either or. It can be both. I think that if
Um,
you have depression, like an actual
because
mental
we
health
didn't
problem, that
have
you should go to therapy because that can probably help. But then you should also, yeah, focus on getting out more and having more face to face interaction and whatnot.
because like I said earlier, this type of stuff like there like I read a report. I can't cite it. I'm sorry, but
It's fine.
like there was this. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about, but there was like an emergency room, and they were receiving abnormally high rates of like kids, teenagers, right? They had come down, and they were in there because they tried to take their own life, or they were doing self harm and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think that clearly I think like I'm not going to pretend like I have specific answers for like how we like focus more on on like do as a society doing more in real life interaction. Like I'm not gonna act like
Yeah,
I have all
I
the
think that
answers.
that's definitely a good thing to focus on. I think we probably agree with that. I think that we're probably on the same page there even.
Okay, so I'm just wondering what do you think do you have any others, like what are some of your solutions that you would
Well, I do actually have
propose?
to go to the next caller now, but I appreciate you
Hold on,
coming
can
on
I
all
just
this
say
time.
something? Apache 117 on YouTube, your life left you.
Yeah, I knew he was going to go up somewhere.